Good morning. Great morning. Wonderful morning. Spectacular morning. Outstanding morning. Magnificent morning. Do I say it? Yeah, I say it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yes, that beautiful reminder that you get to choose, I get to choose, that we all get to choose what things mean. Now, here at this particular moment where I'm at this time in this call, it's morning. So guess what I choose? Good morning, great morning. You can do that for any moment, for anything that's happening around you, no matter what it is. Remember, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Write that in your notes right now. Again, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything just is. Whatever you're going through right now, whatever's happened, whatever someone's done, what you've done, all of it. Here's the truth. Ready? It just is. And it's the meanings that you're giving it, whatever that is, that's causing the vibratory state that you're in. And that vibratory state is what we call feeling. Now, again, grab onto that. You have this ability to control the vibratory state you're on if you'll just shift how you're thinking. Remember, that's your greatest power. No one can force you to think the thoughts you think. Can anyone force you to think the thoughts you think? No. It's so beautiful. We went over that beautifully in this book, and this is going to help you to see that magnificently. My gosh, this is a game changer. Oh, wow, is it a game changer? You want to talk about relief of the weight of guilt and shame and feeling bad? Oh my gosh, this is going to get rid of that. It's going to shatter the illusion of what's been leading to that. You've just been conditioned to believe that you're in the way, that you're sabotaging yourself, your own worst enemy. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's not true. With that being said, there's an emphasis here that you need to be reminded of, and that is you're powerful. And if you'll use that power, you'll be able to externalize any outcome you see. And now think about that. It doesn't matter what you're going through right now at all. What matters is how you're going to think now. Why? Because that's going to determine your destiny, which means you're the one that's in charge of your destiny. And that is pretty freaking awesome. All right. So, with that, you should have a goal card with you. Do not underestimate the power of this. Yes, it is a piece of paper in a sleeve, but see, it's not about it being a piece of paper in a sleeve. And if you don't have one of these and you'd like a set of these, then just click on the link that we provide to you so you can order your set. But if you don't want to order a set from us, then you can get a piece of paper, get a index card and write it down. The point is to make it important. If you allow this to go into your heart using what we're sharing with you, there's no way it's not going to take place in the outer world. So make sure you have this with you. And then also make sure that you have a copy of what we are studying. Right now, we're studying the Master Key System. And for many of you, you may not know this, but Charles Haanel was the one who inspired Napoleon Hill to do everything that he did with Think and Grow Rich. Many people think that it's Andrew Carnegie. It's not. This guy, he even wrote him a letter telling him so. So make sure you get a copy of this and also get a copy of this too. It's a beautiful companion to help you to organize your thoughts. All right, so let's dive into this, shall we? Let's go into where we left off and get to work with internalizing this information. Now, here we are on page 150, but I'm going to go over what we went through previously. Okay, this is a big deal here. So page 150. Okay, here we go. Now remember, you have an imagination. Write that in your notes. I have an imagination. Never place into your imagination anything that would cause you to think negatively. You're the one who gets to choose what's going to stay there. And remember, imagination is the starting point of all creation. This reminds me of when I sent Bob Proctor my last message to him the Christmas before he passed away. On Christmas morning, I sent him this message. I said, Merry Imagination Day, Bob. And then I put in quotes, by him were all things made, and without him was not anything made that was made. And he responded back within minutes. He says, boy, have you got that right. And if you think like that this year, it's going to be an amazing year for you. And boy, was he right. That's pretty awesome. By imagination were all things made, and without imagination was not anything made that was made. Now, imagination is a plastic power molding the things of sense into new forms and ideals. See, that is a power that you have in you. And in terms of that plastic power that it's referencing to, it's shapeable, it's moldable. Remember, you are the sculptor. The clay is that thinking substance that permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. It can be shaped into whatever you want. I love how Wallace Wattles talks about this. It's a formless substance. Now, I know that might sound kind of weird. When I first heard that, I was going, what the hell is he talking about? Formless substance. What I was thinking was from how I was used to thinking. But when I started to dive into it, I started to realize, oh, what he means is there's no limit to what it can be. And in terms of the shape, it's infinite when it comes to the way that it can be molded. Imagination is the constructive form of thought which must precede every constructive form of action. Now, I instructed you to put a big box around this. Now, again, really grab onto this. This is what's in you. This is what will help you to change your outer world. And remember what else I shared with you, that your imagination is the only weapon you have to combat what's happening in your world. Maybe a fact that you're going through something that's, oh God, this really sucks. But you got to remember that if you want to change that, you have to move towards something different. Well, where does it start? With your wonderful imagination. Grab onto that. It starts by using your imagination. If you want your outcome to change, if you want it to be this, what you've written out, thing you've got to remember, this is an image. In the beginning was the word. With that being said, if you want this to be something on the outside, notice how it's got to start first in the mind. The secret of all power, all success, all riches, all happiness, all joy is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth, of supply, of happiness, of joy. We must build them in our own mind first. You've got to build it in your own mind first. You've got to be loyal to it after that. That was the most beautiful definition I've heard of faith from Neville Goddard. He says, faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. What's the unseen reality? It's what's happening in your mind. It's what other people do not see. It's the things that you only see. Write that in your notes. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. That's what's got to happen in this wonderful world of your mind in order for that change to take place in your outer world. Again, my reminder for you again, it doesn't matter what's happening right now. What matters is how you're going to think now. That's what matters most. Now, I know it's a challenge when you're going through things. Why? Because we've been conditioned to think from our senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We've been conditioned to be immersed in the physical, which is the world of effects. Thoughts are the causes, the results are the effects. You want to change the effect, you got to change the cause. But again, it is a challenge. But why would it be a challenge? Why would there be a struggle with making that shift and thinking from how you would love things to be? Well, it's simple. Remember, there's only one reason why you struggle. And it's the same reason for why things are easy for you. We went over this in depth in another book that we wrote called Manifesting Miracles. The reason why you struggle is because your conditioning doesn't recognize the conclusion. That's it. There's nothing else. And that's the same reason for why things are easy for you. And with that conditioning, there's an image involved. Isn't that interesting? We're coming back to imagination. You're either a slave to your imaginings or a master of your imagination. If you want that outer world to change, you've got to override that conditioning. That conditioning is called your paradigm, that mental program in you that's running 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's running subconsciously and unconsciously. With that, if you will be loyal to the new idea and then crowd out anything else that's not in harmony with that good that you desire, guess what will happen? You'll start moving into action.